Hey, welcome back to Simply Key, where I do and say everything and nothing at all. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways to de-stress your life. This is going to be a raw, real video, so I apologize in advance. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about 5 ways that I have found over my past 20, almost 21 years of life that have helped me de-stress in some capacity. So these aren't like surefire ways you're going to be distressed. What works for me may not work for you. You may not have the access to it. You may not have the resources for it, and you may not have the just capabilities to do it. And I acknowledge that, and I just want you guys to know that, because I don't want anybody to be in the comment section saying that I have certain privileges, which I mean, I will acknowledge that I do have certain privileges, but I don't want somebody in the comment section saying, oh, well, you have a privilege to do this and I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. I'm saying whatever I say in these next 5 steps or ways to de-stress, if it works for you, cool, try it out and see what happens. If people de-stress different ways because of the different ways that we have access to stuff. And so please do not be in my comments calling me privileged or saying that I'm ignoring XYZ circumstances, because I am not ignoring those. I'm just saying these are ways that have helped me de-stress over the years. Okay, I just really wanted to say that because I really don't want any negativity surrounded by this video. And I know how a lot of people, especially people at the school that I attend, can be about stuff. And, you know, yeah. So these are ways that have helped me stress, because I am a person that tends to get really stressed about things and be put under a lot of stress. I've gained quite a bit of weight since I've started college due to stress and other things, such as me owing almost $17,000 in loans at a school that has no tuition. Anywho, here's 5 ways to de-stress. Okay, so the first way is to pray, meditate, and center yourself. So this doesn't necessarily mean you have to believe in God, which I do. I believe in God, but that doesn't mean you have to believe in God. There's other ways to pray, meditate, and center oneself. So I will put in the description box down below the chakra healing frequencies that I listen to when I do journaling. When I do journaling at night with my sisters. But that's just one way I ground myself. And when I do journaling, I'm very intentional about what I'm journaling about. I'm not just journaling about my day. I'm not just talking about the good things that happen to me. I'm very intentional in choosing prompts to journal about, because I know for me, I know myself, but I need to, sometimes it's hard for me to acknowledge my negative traits, or sometimes it's hard for me to acknowledge my self-destructive behaviors, or something about me that needs to be acknowledged. And you know, when you're in a relationship with someone and your significant other points out something to you about yourself and you haven't seen that in yourself, so you kind of get defensive about it, these journal prompts have actually helped me acknowledge those and learn how to grow from that. So I do in journal prompts like and I'll put these in the description box. I'll type some of them up for you. But like I've done one like, how do I deal with change? Do I embrace it? Do I resist it? Do I like change? I've done one on how do I deal with negative. I've done one on how do I deal with negative people. I've done one on how do I deal with anger, like, because for me, there's certain emotions I would never let myself feel due to, in my childhood, certain things that happened. I would never allow myself to feel those certain types of emotions. So acknowledging that really helps me center myself, it helps me ground myself, and it helps me become more close to myself within nature and the universe. And I just really like spirituality, and I feel like it's something that's really important in people's lives, because if you don't have that type of spirituality, and that's not even saying believing in a God or a God, that's just saying having a spirituality and believing in something beyond yourself and believing in divinity, or just believing in like the transcending of yourself and your purpose within the universe in itself. It brings you so much peace when you can do things like that. Second way to de-stress, and please don't laugh at me, but it's to stay hydrated, because I personally am a believer that if you do not take care of your body, you cannot take care of your mind, and you cannot take care of yourself. Like, you can be dealing with all of this other stress, but you're adding stress to yourself if you're not taking care of yourself. If you're not hydrated, your skin's gonna show that. Your hair is gonna reflect that. Your pee is gonna reflect that. Your body systems are gonna reflect that. And so if you really can make a conscious effort to just drink water every day, it's really important. It's really important because it helps declutter your body, first of all, because it helps like flush out stuff, and it just makes you feel better because you guys are smart. You all know if you don't eat the right ways, if you don't drink water and stay hydrated, you feel sluggish, and that's just adding more stress to you, because you don't do those things, you're going to feel sluggish, which means you're going to be tired, and tiredness is going to compound on top of being tired from working 40 hours a week. It's going to be compounding on top of taking care of your family and being the sole provider for your family. It's going to compound on top of taking care of your younger siblings and taking care of your academics. It's going to compound onto that. And so by drinking water and eating in healthy ways, if you have access to it, that really helps you in the long run, because now it takes a little bit of that tiredness away. And so I'm not saying you're not going to still be tired. Yeah, you're going to still be tired, and there's other factors that lead into feeling tired and being sluggish, but drinking water is a great step into moving in the right direction. The third way to de-stress is to declutter your space, because now that we've centered ourselves, and now that we've decluttered our bodies internally, we need to declutter our environments externally. And that means even decluttering your phone. If you've never purged your phone and like purged your social media, it's such a freeing feeling, and it makes you feel lighter, because you're letting go of burdens you've been internally holding on to that you don't need to hold on to anymore. That means deleting contacts of people you don't talk to anymore, you have no desire to talk to, or you don't like, or you hate, or blocking somebody that really needs to be blocked. And for me, it's really hard for me to block people. I feel so bad because I don't want them to be mad at me, but in the long run, it's better, like, I'm blocking them for me, not for them. And so, yeah, block people. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. For me, I had to unfollow a lot of relationship accounts when I was younger because they would make me feel bad about my relationships. And like, even now, people give relationship advice, but sometimes it's like, that's not beneficial to society as a whole, and I will have to unfollow you because it's not contributing to my mental at all. So unfollowing accounts that don't encourage you, uplift you, make you feel good about yourself. Unfollowing people who don't encourage you, uplift you, make you feel good about yourself, or contribute to you or your feed in any type of way. Deleting contacts, deleting text threads that are no longer in use. I'm really bad at that. Like, when I got this new phone, like when I got this new phone when I was a sophomore in college, I think, maybe. When we were transferring all the information to my new phone, it was like 63,000 and something text messages, and that's the thing that took like 30 minutes for my information to transfer to my phone, because they were transferring all 63,000 and some change text messages. Why do I have that many saved, and why? I don't... What was the reason, Kiana? What was the reason? Is what I was really saying to myself, and so was the Verizon assistant. And I know a lot of y'all's phones look like that too, and it's unnecessary. Just delete the text messages and let it go. Let it go. Those conversations are dead weight, and you don't need it. It's tying you down. It's making you feel tired. It's making you feel sluggish. It's clouding your mental space. And if you have a clouded mental space, your life is not good. You can't benefit from life when you're clouding your mental space. So let them go, please. And that means taking those clothes off your bed. Please, sleep in your bed for once. You know why you feel tired? Because you haven't slept in your bed, in an actual bed, or whatever you feel like is your bed. For me, my bed is my sanctuary, and for me that means do not get in my bed if you have street clothes on. Do not get in my bed if you have not taken a shower, okay? Because for me, I've created this habit that this is like a sanctuary, and this is where I feel my most vulnerable, and this is where I feel the most intimate, and I want that to be a clean, holy, spiritual space. And because of that, when I don't sleep in my bed, or whatever I deem as like my bed in that space, like when I'm at school, my bed there, I feel more tired. So you really just need to be intentional with your spacing. Even whatever little spacing that you have, if it's small, if it's big, you still need to be intentional about it. You can have a lot of stuff and still be neat. Don't have a cluttered space, because a cluttered space creates a cluttered mind, which makes you stressed. It's science. The fourth one is take time for yourself. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, but I work every day, all day. I know. That doesn't mean you can't take time for yourself. It really doesn't. There's really no excuse to not take time for yourself. You can take time for yourself when you're taking a poop. When you're taking a poop, you can be meditating. When you're taking a poop, you could be journaling. When you're taking a poop, you could be decluttering your phone. When you're taking a poop, you could be drinking a bottle of water. Take time for yourself. When you're taking a poop, you could be knitting. You could be doing a hobby that you like that can be transported. So please take time for yourself, because if you don't take time for yourself now, the universe will force you to take time for yourself later. And the universe is ruthless and does not care how much money, time, or responsibilities that you have. And that's on period. One time, I thought it was food poisoning. I really did. I thought I had E. coli or something. But the truth of the matter is I was really stressed. And I was so stressed that I dehydrated myself, because I had diarrhea for 6 hours. And for 3 of those 6 hours, it was bloody. I had vomiting for 12 hours straight. I was vomiting so much that they had to put an IV drip on me because I was so dehydrated and I could not eat. And I couldn't eat for like a week straight. Not because I was vomiting, just because I was not hungry. And that was a real wake up, because if you don't take time for yourself now, and you say you don't have time, and you say you don't have money, well, that hospital bill is really going to take your money if you don't have time now. Because I don't know about y'all, but I literally got a bill for $563 just because I had an allergic reaction to face wash, and my eye swelled up, and I had to go to the hospital. Those are the type of bills you're going to be getting if you don't take care of yourself, that money amount, because dehydration is a thing. And it's not good, it's not healthy, it's not safe. Not taking time for yourself, your body will make you take time for yourself. If you don't want to take time for yourself, your body and nature will make you take time for yourself. And that's the truth. And I know people don't have resources, don't have access or time to take time for themselves, but they need to make time to take time for yourself. Because, I'm going to repeat it again, if you don't take time for yourself, your body will make you take time for yourself. And do you want to learn it the hard way, or do you want to do it the easy way? Do you want to be dizzy for 3 months, like me? Because I wasn't feeding myself and taking time for myself? Or do you want to just feed yourself now? Hydrate yourself now, take time for yourself now, so you won't have to go to the doctor. Because then I really had to have a journal. I had to write down what I was eating at every time. I had to make sure, I had to write down if I had a headache or not. And that's time consuming. So if you don't have time now, you're gonna have to have time later. So please take time for yourself. That is so important. That's like, it should have been number 1 on my list, but I mean, these are in no particular order. Just take time for yourself. Like, I cannot emphasize that one the most. Please take time for yourself. The last way to take time for yourself. Stupid. The last way to de-stress is to move through the stress. Sometimes. So sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel stress, but we know we're under stress. Just like sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel anger, even though we know we are angry. We push it down. We don't want to feel it, and you can't do that. That's not good for your mental. And if your mental's not good, you're not good. So, acknowledge you're under stress. Sit in that stress for a moment. Briefly. Note, I said briefly. And then, do these other things to de-stress yourself. But if you never take time to acknowledge that you're under stress, it's not good. If you never take time to acknowledge that you're angry, you're gonna blow up. Yes, allow yourself to feel things. If you don't allow yourself to feel things, if you don't allow yourself to feel stressed for even just a moment, you're never going to know how to handle stress and how to recognize stress. If you don't acknowledge I'm under stress, you won't teach yourself how to identify stress and how to identify it quickly, and then how to remedy it quickly. Please use these tricks if you have availability and time and resources and the support you need to do these. These are ways that have helped me de-stress over the years. It didn't take all the stress away, but it did help me de-stress in a capacity that was controllable. There's a lot of life stressors that hit you because life comes at you fast, baby. But there are certain aspects of stress that you can control. And on the flip side, there is a good type of stress that actually helps people be productive and do things at their best capacity. But find ways to de-stress. If these work, let me know. If you have ways that you like to de-stress, let me know. Let other people know in the comments. I want this to be an active going thread because not everybody de-stresses in the same way. Not everybody experiences stress in the same way. And it's important to seek help when you need it and seek help when you don't know how to de-stress, and be intentional about grounding yourself, be intentional about your spirituality, be intentional about your spacing internally, externally, be intentional about who you allow in your space, be intentional about who you allow on your phone, in your presence, in your feed, in your eyes, in your mind, be intentional about who you allow to occupy space in your head rent-free. Be intentional about ways that you identify that and ways that you combat that. So yeah, I really just wanted to do this video. I've actually had this video planned for like weeks now. So thanks for watching.